Unlock your dream property with Meeks Realty Group, where Rich the Realtor makes real estate dreams a reality. Whether it's residential or commercial, we've got Charleston to Huntington covered. Your key to exceptional real estate experiences start here. Meeks Realty Group. Contact us at meeks.us.
The views and opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of 580 WCHS, its employees, or WVRC Media. From the studios of WVRC Media, the country, the United States of America, the state, West Virginia, the city, Charleston. This is the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live. And your host.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
He's kind of a big deal.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
Dave Allen.
Hey, folks, good Thursday morning to you, and welcome to the show. Senior producer Ryan Nicholson in charge of things this morning. Bigly, Piggly, Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Tony the Taylor text 304-935-5008. We do the show from the Jarrett Construction Studios, right on time, right on budget. Visit jarrett-construction.com. Phone calls to the show, a service of Bigly, Piggly, Wiggly, Spring Street texting services, courtesy Tony the Taylor on Virginia Street. Some dates to remember: November the 7th, the last day to order custom items for Christmas. November the 18th, the end of Bolt sale. You can save up to 50% off custom suits and jackets. And now Tony will be closed Thanksgiving Day, of course, November 27th, and the following Friday, the 28th. He is open, however, for Small Business Saturday on November 29th and December 4th. Holiday trunk shows. Check out bestmastertaylor.com or Tony's Facebook page for more information. Thursday edition of the show. Another lovely drive in this morning with the rain and whatnot. To my knowledge, not as many accidents reported this morning as there were yesterday. There were a few here and there, though, as you may expect. It'll get better, though, as we head toward the weekend. Of course, the announcement was made on Tuesday that Kanawha County would move their trick-or-treating festivities from tonight, which is when it was originally scheduled, to now tomorrow night, Halloween night. I had County Commission President Ben Salango on the show yesterday talking about the reasons why. And, as we said yesterday, you're never going to make everyone happy. But, yes, trick-or-treating is tomorrow night. Halloween night in Kanawha County, Halloween night in Putnam County as well. That was the original night over there. All right, coming up a little bit later on, I'm going to introduce you to someone named Tara Martinez. She's running for the House of Delegates out of Kanawha County, District 54, and she is an independent. We're going to introduce you to her. Attorney Rusty Webb is going to be by the program as well to talk about this opioid settlement. Well, I don't want to call it really a settlement, but the news that came out of Cabell County, it can be quite confusing. Where does it go next? Rusty's somebody who's been involved in this for some time, keeping an eye on this, and so he's going to join us to weigh in on that. Plus, your calls and texts are welcome, too. And again, I promised it on social media. I will get into the hottest thing going on social media in the area now, and that is the swing club controversy in Charleston. I'll get into that coming up a little bit later on as well. But right now, I want to welcome into the show the Chief of Staff for Charleston Mayor Amy Schuler, Goodwin, Matt Sutton. Good morning, sir. Welcome to the show.
How are you doing, buddy?
I am doing fine. First of all, trick-or-treating has been moved in Kanawha County, as we said, from tonight to tomorrow night because of the weather. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's the right call. It's all about safety for kids, and that is the number one priority in any event that you put on, whether it's trick or treat, whether it's the regatta, whether it's just a night in the park. It's all about safety, especially as it relates to our little ones, and we don't want kids out not only in the cold and the rain. But, as you mentioned, we have a lot of accidents that go on. Trick-or-treat's a hard night throughout the entire county for law enforcement, EMS, to try to make sure that people stay safe. It's about safety. It's the right decision. And by the way, it's not the first time this has happened. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've been with Mayor Goodwin now for 7 years, and we had to do this before, and it's the right decision to make.
What is it? Was it a couple years ago? We had some pretty nasty weather. That was more like storm related as opposed to just rain. There was like some lightning and all that kind of stuff. I think Matt, I think what some people were bothered by was that it was now it's going to go head-to-head with high school football, but it's going to go head-to-head in a lot of places. And I like what Salango said yesterday, Commissioner Salango said yesterday, maybe we should just say it's October 31st no matter what, and just leave it there.
Yeah, I mean, I think, we've talked about that, and I think that makes a lot of sense. But again, when people want to participate in Halloween. My neighborhood is all kinds of decorated, and the kids get excited and they want to be able to participate. So make it a nice night. We've already all bought our candy. Kids have already got their costumes, and make sure the kids can participate. And most importantly, that people can stay safe. I get it goes against high school football. There's really not a lot you can do about that because we're not going to move it into next week. That doesn't make any sense.
Right,
so, people can participate. Tonight I know there's some big, I think it's high school volleyball games that go on because of the state high school volleyball tournament. There are people getting prepped for that.
There's always a high school football game on a Thursday night somewhere too. Marshall's playing tonight. For my Thundering Herd, they have a game at Coastal Carolina tonight. And the municipalities, as Commissioner Salango explained to us, the municipalities can pretty much do what they want. Sure. They didn't have to necessarily go along with what the county said. However, it makes it easier for everybody, and I'm pretty sure, unless somebody tells me otherwise, that the municipalities in Kanawha County are all going along with the county recommendations and having their trick-or-treating tomorrow night. But look, there's communities having it on Saturday night.
Sure.
And there's people that don't like that because they say, well, Saturday night's the night that people go out and party and go to bars, and we don't want the kids out then. So, you're never going to make, and there is no, as I said yesterday, Matt, there is no trick-or-treat police. You could go out trick-or-treating in January if you want to. And you may not get any candy, but you can do, you can do whatever you want.
The cities can, but we coordinate. I know I can only speak for the city of Charleston. We coordinate close with the county on this because it does make sense because it's a bad, it's hard to for you all in the news media, it would be hard for you to stand up here and say, and trick or treat tonight is in St. Albans and Nitro, and then tomorrow night it's in Charleston. So it would just be confusing for people. Most importantly, again, I know it can be frustrating. I understand that people have plans, but when we make these decisions, every single time, and I know Commissioner Salango talked with Mayor Goodwin. Every single time, the number one priority is safety of kids, and that's it. That's the goal. And if you want to be upset about that, I understand. I guess I get it, but we're always going to put the safety of kids first, and that's what this is about. And so, hopefully, everybody can have a great time tomorrow night, and when we can move on to the Christmas parade after that, right? Thanksgiving's in the middle, but I don't know. Like the people, I was in the stores the other day and it's all Christmas again. So
I got news for you. I was in a store that there was Valentine's Day stuff out.
Man. Yeah, you need a new store.
Before we get to the Christmas parade, though, and that's why you're really here today, I did want to say this and allow you to talk about this. WCHS Television, no relation, by the way, out with a story late Tuesday about a public hearing that was held Tuesday night to discuss the presence of an adults-only establishment on Greenbrier Street in Charleston. It's said to be a swingers club. Just wanted to clarify with you, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit later on. There was a cease and desist that was sent out to them, and according to the WCHS story, was sent by the county, not by the city. It is not in city limits.
It's not in the city limits. Greenbrier Street can get a little bit weird going up and down Greenbrier Street,
especially now.
Yeah, anyway. Boundary weird. Sorry, as can Southridge, but I was actually literally on the phone with our director of development service, Dan Rent, and when I saw the article, and I said, Dan, did I miss a meeting? Like what happened here? And he didn't know anything about it, and then I dug into the article and I said, oh, okay, I understand what the county's doing. They do have a Charleston address, but it's not in the city of Charleston, so it is a county decision for them to make. And with anything, holding public hearings is always a good idea. And so we were quite caught off guard about it. We kept seeing the articles, and the mayor was texting me. She was like, said the same thing. Like, did we miss something? I said, no, this is the county. So for everybody having fun with it or not having fun with it, however you want to do, it is a county decision. Mm-hmm. And just like the city of Charleston, the county has zoning laws, and the city has zoning laws, and that's how it works. Yeah. And so a lot of times the opinion of what you should do, you have the laws and you have to follow them, or things get out of hand. And I don't know enough about this situation, but I just know that zoning laws are important in all areas. And so it is what it is. And if you think otherwise, the argument is to talk about zoning laws and look at those.
And you can have that. They can have that discussion at another point. But I agree with you. All right, let's move on to the Christmas parade. Announcement coming out yesterday that I guess applications are out there now. You're asking for people to sign up. Talk about it.
Yeah. So we opened the applications for the Christmas parade yesterday. Those applications. We already got 21 as of 8 o'clock this morning, so that probably numbers up to probably 25 or 30 already. And so that'll stay open through the end of November, or till we get to about 125 participants. That's about the max.
Like the ideal number, right?
Yeah. I would call it the max number. How about it's the number in which we can handle through the parade. You know, we could sneak in a few here and there, but 125 is what we try to get to. We usually don't make it through the whole time frame for the application to be open until we get to 125. So make sure you get your application in as soon as you possibly can. The Christmas parade itself, December 11th. At 7 p.m. I always, I don't think you don't have to remind anybody that Charleston moved the Christmas parade to the evening time, and it has been in the evening time, you know, since Mayor Goodwin was in. Is one of the best events in town. So December 11th at 7 p.m., you're definitely going to want to be there. But if you want to participate in the parade, I'd sign up today.
Because this just went live, I guess, yesterday. At least that's when I got the press release on it. Yeah. And so if you've already had that many people that have signed up in a less than 24-hour period, you're going to have a lot of people sign up. Yeah,
we usually get to 125 in a week or two. We have people calling about the Christmas parade in September. I mean, people love their parades, and I know that they also schedule it out, right? Because there are a lot of Christmas parades going out throughout the entire county, and in the Putnam County and all that area. So people try to plan these out. We try to work to make sure that we have, you know, we don't want to duplicate nights. So it is a great night. I mean, this year's theme is Tinseltown. So everybody can sparkle up. You know, you can, your nod to your favorite sort of classic Christmas movies and how you interpret the theme of Tinseltown. But man, it's a really fun event, and I will forever remember the meeting I was in with the mayor, even before she took office, where she said she was going to move the parade to the nighttime. And I wasn't a big parade person. Nothing my family did. We weren't big parade people, so I was just okay, and didn't realize actually how impactful it would be. Not only from a community perspective, from a business perspective, from restaurants, because it was it was on a Saturday morning. It was nice and people attended, but this has turned into an entire 2-month event basically.
It's about
after
more
we did
than the parade.
Yeah, I mean, so with the evening time Christmas parade was the catalyst for things like Holly Jolly Brawley and Light the Night, because we started to create this vibe and this atmosphere in Charleston around the holidays. And man, it's just such a great night. And you know, we keep that to about 125 because we've gotten bigger before, and it can last a long time. And, you know, when kids need to get home and get to bed. But it is really a fun event, and really one in which I know, you know, Holly Jolly Brawley and Light the Night start first, but it really is the one that kind of kicked off everything for the holidays in Charleston and what we have become over the last couple of years. And so I would make sure to get your entry in. My guess is when I get back to the office here in a few minutes, we'll be up to about 30 or 35 entries. We want as many youth organizations we can get. We love bands. We love kids' youth sports clubs, kids' activities, but you know, adults are welcome too. But as many people as we can get, we want that out there. And then have a fun evening in Charleston. That's the biggest part about this.
Go grab some dinner. Yeah. Go to Holly Jolly Brawley. Swing by Light the Night. Yep. You know, all these things. And again, you know, talking to the merchants downtown, they love it. They love it because, as you said, it was on Saturday morning and it was very well attended. But this has taken it to another level because it's not just about the parade; it's about everything around the parade.
Yeah, I mean, when you get that, you know, now that we've got all the trees up and you've got I think the Charleston Airlines is doing their window decorating contest again this year, and so those type of things really add to that environment, and to have the Christmas parade kind of as the culmination of a lot of it. Then you head into the holidays. It is just. It is a really special night in Charleston, and all the bars are packed, all the restaurants are packed, retail establishments are great, and it's a huge night. I mean, we have people when we ask and we go out and ask sort of the establishments downtown, like, what are your biggest revenue nights, what are your biggest draw nights? Christmas parade is always in the top 3 or 4, and it just because it is such a well attended event, and you know you want some hot chocolate for Melon's ice cream, you better get there early to get your hot chocolate and just come out and have a good time. And again, I think the other thing to not to go back and beat a dead horse with the moving of Halloween, we had to move the Christmas parade one year because of weather, and so stuff happens. But book December 11th at 7 p.m.
Well, speaking of which, somebody asked, has there been a rain date set? I guess we'd have to wait till we got a little bit closer to do extended forecasts and things of that nature.
Yes, I mean, when we look at the rain dates, we look at a lot of different things. A is how long is it going to rain? What is the time frame? And so, but we want to get it in kind of early in December, so we have a little bit of time to move into that next week if we need to. And a lot of that has to do, honestly, because when we did have to move it 2 years ago, I think it was, our first call are to our bands that participate, the local school bands that participate, and the youth groups say, what else?
It may have been last year.
Well, it may have been last year.
Maybe, I don't know.
What do you have going on? What do you have going on? When can you participate? Because having those bands is such a critical part of it. We always will coordinate with them before we set a rain date.
Somebody also said food trucks would be nice if you could have them down there. The only thing I would worry about would be spacing.
Spacing is hard. I mean, when you think about the Christmas parade, you don't have a lot of space. We don't have any space left downtown. So we've got plenty of places downtown to eat.
Go to the restaurants.
Yeah.
I mean, food trucks are nice. I love a good food truck. Don't get me wrong, but I think you're better served by going to the restaurants. Matt Sutton, Chief of Staff for Mayor Goodwin, I appreciate you being here. Thanks
Absolutely,
a lot.
anytime.
And the mayor, I think, is going to be on the show on Monday.
Yep, she'll be here.
So that's her regularly scheduled day. Matt Sutton, appreciate you being here. 922, the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by Live Healthy, West Virginia, presented by WVU Medicine, a podcast promoting healthier lifestyles in and beyond the state. Check out the latest episodes, WVMetroNews.com, under the podcast menu. Rusty Webb coming up a little bit later on, and a independent candidate for House, Tara Martinez, coming up next. And the voice of Charleston, WCHS.
The Dave Allen Show is presented in part by Generations Ford in Hurricane, part of the Eric J. Tarr family of businesses.
The Husson's Pizza Special for October is a large 18-inch pepperoni pizza and an order of 50 cinnamon bites for only $20.99. Visit your nearest Husson's for dine-in pickup or delivery. Order now at hussonspizza.com.
Hey guys, Dave Allen here for the all-new Generations Ford of Hurricane, your family and locally owned Ford dealership. With construction underway and new Fords hitting the lot every day, we're providing our customers with X-Plan discount pricing on the purchase of any and every new Ford. This means you pay what Ford suppliers pay. On top of these market-only discounts, we're also offering 130% of Kelley Blue Book Fair Trade value for your vehicle. Visit us today off the Hurricane exit or online at generationsford.com. One destination for every generation. Generations Ford. See dealer for details.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com, because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS, ethos.com/Mike.
The latest in news, talk, and sports when 580 WCHS is brought to you by Jarrett Construction. Call 304-344-9140 for more information.
Right on time, right on budget. Call on Jarrett Construction.
$925, about 275,000 West Virginians, or 16% of the state's population, are supported by SNAP benefits. Food banks have been bracing for spiking demands as SNAP benefits will run dry. You can donate to Facing Hunger Food Bank or Mountaineer Food Bank by scanning the QR code on the front page of WVMetroNews.com. WVRC Media cares about the community. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you in part by Husson's Pizza. This month, get a large 18-inch pepperoni pizza and order 50 cinnamon bites, only $20.99. Find your closest Husson's Pizza for delivery, pickup, or dine in at hussonspizza.com. We'll talk to attorney Rusty Webb coming up a little bit later on, and we'll get to your calls and texts too. Tara Martinez, independent candidate for the House in District 54, joins us now. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning, Dave. Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you for being here. Give us your bio. Who is Tara? Run it down for us.
Yeah, my mom said that you were going to ask that, so
I pretty much ask the same of every candidate. I try to be fair.
So I am a public servant. I started serving the state of West Virginia when I was 19 years old with the Public Service Commission. I've worked for the Department of Agriculture. I've worked for the Department of Health and Human Resources at the time as the director of the Women's Commission. I have given a lot of my free time to do work as a volunteer for I was the chair and vice chair of the advisory committee to the U.S. Commission on Civil Rights for West Virginia. I am a public servant by heart, and I'm a mom, I'm a wife, a daughter, and I am currently a constituent and a candidate for the District of 54.
So why did you decide to run?
Being on the other side, and I have a unique perspective of being on the other side of the legislation that is passed at the House, in the Senate, and signed by the governor. And working in state government all of my life, I have really dug into what the needs are, working on surveys, working with individuals in having their worst day of their life as a director of a soup kitchen here in Charleston.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to the point last session, I had taken my daughter's softball team to listen and to be recognized. And they were having a pretty controversial bill on the floor, and the girls afterwards, after they were recognized, said, why don't they ask the kids what we want and what we need, and why aren't you down there being our voice? And for a bunch of 13, 14-year-olds to ask you to be their voice, it's pretty significant. And that was kind of the catalyst for me.
So what do you see as the biggest needs of the district?
Workforce opportunities, affordable housing, childcare for folks that want to work, and maybe accessible and affordable childcare has been a huge topic. As long as when I was at the Women's Commission, that was something statewide. And I had the good fortune of, when I was working briefly as a consultant for Governor Jim Justice's office, to help with getting a program called TriShare, a grant to do a pilot program in 8 counties in West Virginia, and giving individuals that support that they need to be able to get back to work, or to have the opportunity to go to work, so that they're not worried about who's keeping their children and who's taking care of their most precious asset.
Talking to Tara Martinez again, who is a candidate for House of Delegates. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you in part by your hometown baseball team, the Charleston Dirty Birds. The Salango Law Light the Night returning to Gomart Ballpark 21st of November. It'll run through the first of the year. Please get your tickets in advance by visiting dblightthenight.com. All right, so you're running as an independent.
Yes.
Okay. Why not as a Republican or Democrat?
I don't belong to either party. Non-affiliate has been something that I always said everyone has to work for my vote, and I want to work for everyone to get their vote.
But you do realize, I'm sure you do, that it's kind of, no matter what office you're running for, it is kind of an uphill climb, for independents, definitely. Because you don't have backing of the executive committees and things of that nature.
That's true.
Yeah.
But I have been having kitchen table conversations.
Okay.
The Dems are doing that right now, but for about a year and a half, I've been having those conversations with individuals in the district, people that I love and trust, and friends, family, colleagues, and they love the concept. And if you look at voting records, folks have changed parties, either from leaving Republican or leaving Democrat to be independent.
Well, unaffiliated independent is the fastest growing party in West Virginia for one reason or another, and you can fill in your own, as to why that is, but it is. It is. More and more young people are registering as independent as well, but it does make it a little difficult on those.
Sure.
It can.
And I've understood that, and I've had lots of folks who have been entrenched in politics say, this is going to be hard, and that's okay. Hard work is what I've always done, and I look forward to being a pragmatic voice for our district, and just being there to listen and really focus on the issues that people are telling me that they need.
If you are elected now as an independent, how would that work? Would you caucus with one side, or how does that?
It depends on who invites me. Okay. I'll have to wait to see who would invite me to caucus with them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's I really don't know. So that you got to be invited, I guess, yeah. Right?
And it's
are you open to one side or the other, or?
I think right now I just want to make sure that I'm listening to everyone. I have good relationships. My committee is made up of Republicans, Democrats, Independents, a large.
What a novel concept.
Yeah. So we can listen to everyone.
Right.
And I even have, I think, one person who's a libertarian that is supporting me, just to I grew up, I went to school at Marshall. Go Herd.
Go Herd.
And listening and then coming up with what is best for the greater common good is really what this is about.
What's your campaign strategy look like? I mean, are you going to go door to door? You're going
door knocking. It's a ground game, strong ground game. You know, if I learned anything from Mayor Goodwin was a strong ground game will get you a lot of places.
Are you open if there are meet the candidate type forums or a debate or anything like that? Are you open to that?
Yes, of course.
What I know we don't want to give away too much if those things do happen, but if you're speaking to a group of people right now, what would you say to them about why they should elect you?
I have over 20 years of experience of understanding state government, working in the nonprofit sector, and listening and acting on behalf of individuals that may not have a voice, and even teaching folks how to go to the Capitol and advocate for themselves. I'm here to listen and to not just listen, but actually take action. Mm-hmm. I've been able to accomplish a lot in the work that I do without passing legislation, but just think what I could do to help the district being in office and getting some real actionable plans in place for folks.
You have a website or social media or anything that you want to put?
Facebook and Instagram right now.
Okay.
Tara Martinez for the 54th.
Okay. All right. You know, one of the things that's been said about the legislative session over the last couple of years, and you can agree or disagree or whatever, is that the legislature has been too focused on social issues, maybe not enough on economic issues. That's been one of the criticisms, and it's really, quite frankly, come from both sides. Some Republicans have said, hey, we are too focused on these things, and some Democrats have said we're too focused. Where are you on all that?
I completely agree with that. I think that we need to really take into consideration what the needs of our constituents will be. Mm-hmm. I know as a constituent now, I want to know how we're helping the folks during this shutdown. I want to know what's happening. Like Sean Hornbuckle says, the kitchen table conversations. Mm-hmm. You know, Speaker Hanshaw yesterday during his, or I don't think it was yesterday, but
Tuesday,
mm-hmm. talking about how inefficiencies at the federal level are causing great heartache, and we need to, as a state, step up. And I think everyone agrees on that.
All right. I do this with every candidate that I have on. I give you the final 30 seconds. It's not timed. I just say, give me your kitchen table speech or your stump speech or whatever. Why should somebody vote for Tara Martinez?
I have lived in this district for over 30 years. I grew up in Roane County, West Virginia, moved to Charleston, started working for the state of West Virginia. West Virginia has a huge part of my heart. I have worked with some of our most vulnerable populations. I'm a mom, and I want to see West Virginia citizens stay here or come back home and help us grow our state to be better. We can be better together.
Tara Martinez, independent candidate for House in District 54. I appreciate you being here. Thank
you so much for having me.
25 minutes away from 10, the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by Morgan & Morgan. With more than $20 billion recovered, they believe when you're injured, you deserve more. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Back after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses want to thank you for shopping locally.
Seasons are changing, the kids are back in school, and cooler weather is on the way. But one thing that always remains consistent is the car buying experience at Walker Chevrolet in Nitro. You see, that's because Gene and Ryan built their business the old-fashioned way by making friends. There are no gimmicks or games at Walker, just honest, fair deals, and the process at Walker is remarkably simple. They help you find a vehicle that you love at a deal that makes you smile. And don't forget, Walker is still buying cars too. Now, all makes and models are welcome, and they'll give you top dollar for it, even if you plan to buy somewhere else. But why would you? You know, it's good to know that in a world full of constant change, there are some things that remain consistent, and that some car dealers still believe in treating you like a friend with a smile and a handshake. Head to Walker Chevrolet in Nitro, in the shadow of the Interstate Bridge just off the Nitro exit of I-64. Walker Chevrolet, making friends one deal at a time.
When you meet someone for the first time, a beautiful smile is the best first impression. If you desire a beautiful smile, no matter where you are in your dental journey, let Garib Dental Group and their experienced dental professionals help make it a reality. From routine cleanings to complex cosmetic treatment, simple fillings to advanced implant placement, Garib Dental Group is prepared to handle any smile. And with the latest technology conveniently placed at each of their 6 locations, Garib Dental Group is prepared to handle the most complex treatment plans. Visit GaribDentalGroup.com to learn more. We love to see your smile.
You've got your whole life ahead of you, so choose a Medicare plan you can count on. And that's what you get with a Medicare Advantage plan from United Healthcare. With more than 45 years' experience serving its members, United Healthcare has plans with low monthly premiums that fit your life today and as your needs change tomorrow. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th, so go to uhc.com/Medicare today. United Healthcare Medicare plans. It's Medicare coverage West Virginia can count on.
22 minutes away from 10. Senior producer Ryan Nicholson in charge of things this morning. Bigly, Piggly Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Tony Taylor text 304-935-5008. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live brought to you in part by Rich the Realtor and Meeks Realty Group. Check out this listing, 14 Stonegate Drive subdivision in Tays Valley. Great home for entertaining. Plenty of room for guests. 6 bedrooms, 5.5 baths, 2 kitchens, 3 wet bars, and just over 8,500 square feet. Listed at $874,900. Contact Rich the Realtor today, 304-932-7488. Attorney Rusty Webb is here. Good morning, sir, and welcome to the show.
Good morning, Dave.
No,
Good to be here.
I know you're dragging a little bit because you've been doing some traveling, and so we kind of went back and forth. I was going to have you on the show, then not, but I do appreciate you taking time to be with us today. I want to ask you, break it all down for us. What happened in Cabell County a couple days ago?
Well, you'll recall that I think it was July 4th, literally July 4th, 2022, after a 10-week trial in 2021, in the summer of 2021, Federal District Judge Faber issued, I think, a 62-page opinion that said that Huntington and Cabell County did not have a case, that West Virginia law, nuisance law, did not allow for this kind of look at drugs and explosion of drugs and distribution of drugs, and that didn't fall within the parameters of the law. And so Cabell Huntington filed an appeal to the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals in Richmond, which is our, it's sort of the Atlantic Coast Conference of
good way to put it.
Court. Yeah, it's like Maryland, Virginia, West Virginia,
gotcha.
North Carolina, maybe, I'm not sure, but anyway. So they at some point they asked the West Virginia Supreme Court, would you clarify your law for us? And the West Virginia Supreme Court basically said, no, we don't believe it's factually developed enough for us to give you an opinion on what our law is. So Fourth Circuit said, okay, so we'll do it on our own. This was a panel, and that's going to become important here in a second. So this panel just ruled that, in fact, West Virginia law does incorporate the type of legal theories that Cabell Huntington has asserted, and the whole entire state of West Virginia has asserted as it relates to nuisance law and, kind of violating the DEA rules as it relates to distribution. In other words, should have reported spikes, should have reported trends, didn't report either. And as a result, they were supposed to stay within these guardrails. They went outside the guardrails. They didn't report that they went outside the guardrails. And our position, and Huntington Cabell's position, I should say, has been that that resulted in this huge opioid epidemic for which these distributors should pay to abate, to clean up the mess, to clean up the mess. So that's where we are.
Well, and I found it very interesting that you were talking about the reporting of spikes and things like that. I mean, that seems to be like that should be when there's, major trends, maybe in one area of the county or one area of town or whatever. That should be something they should just jump all over, one would think.
That's exactly what the DEA rules and regulations say, is that, report to us spikes and trends as it relates to the distribution of pills from your distributorship. And they didn't. I mean, they didn't. I mean, that's the case we made, or, when we went to trial. They didn't do that. And I've often called it a conspiracy of thieves. Everybody's making money up and down the manufacturers, the distributors, the pharmaceuticals. Everybody's making money. Nobody's wanting to report anything, because then the jig is up. Then the DEA comes in and says, "Wait a minute, what's going on here?" But anyway, I tend to get a little animated about these things. But you're right.
I know you do.
Yeah.
But Dave Allen Show on 580.
You trigger me anyway.
I know I do. Hey, look, I'm wearing my Marshall gear today. You should be happy. Herd plays tonight, so I'm
always happy when the herd. Green is on.
Exactly right. But Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by Bridge Valley Community Technical College. Insurance agents in demand of the state and across the country. Bridge Valley can help you take the first step. Their insurance pre-sales licensure course will get you ready to sit in for the state-required property and casualty insurance licensure exam to start your career in this ever-growing field. Check out bridgevalley.edu for details. Bridge Valley Community Technical College, your career starts here. And Rusty, I can tell you, this is a case that it got nationwide and in some cases worldwide attention, because when this came out on Tuesday, after I was home, I flipped the TV on CNBC, to catch a little business news, and they were talking about this.
Yeah. Well, if you're, again, when it was tried, it was the first trial in federal court in the United States. The one before Cabell Huntington was Cleveland, Cuyahoga County in Ohio. It settled, the day before trial. And the other irony about this case is that over the July 4th weekend, before Judge Faber issued his decision, all the cities and counties in West Virginia negotiated a settlement of $400 million with these distributors. I mean, you can't make this up. The coincidence is, you can't make up this coincidence. It literally happened the weekend before the decision came out. They agreed to pay $400 million without saying that they were responsible for it. That's the way settlements go. It doesn't say they did anything wrong. They're just going to do it strategically. So they settled for $400 million. So that's a West Virginia, and then. The state had previously settled, the state of West Virginia had previously settled with the distributors, let's say about a year before that. So everybody had, when Huntington Cabell went to trial, when the decision came out, everybody had settled in the state of West Virginia except Cabell Huntington. So when the opioid monies were distributed, Cabell Huntington didn't get any of the distributors' money because they opted to try their own case. Now, again, $2.5 billion was put on the board. That's what we put on the board. So when it comes back to trial, and hopefully that'll happen in the first of the year, that's kind of a starting point for, I think, that they'll use is $2.5 billion.
All right. So where does it go now, Rusty? Before we let you go, where does it go now?
Well, the reason I said that about the panel is that there's the distributors can. There's a couple of procedural things they can do. One is which they can ask the entire en banc, ENBANC, which means the whole panel, the whole Fourth Circuit, which is 15 judges, say, hey, you look at this and you tell us if you think this is correct. I don't think that'll work. Then you could theoretically go to the U.S. Supreme Court, because that's the next court up in federal court. You have district court, federal appeals court, then you have the U.S. Supreme Court. I don't personally think there's a constitutional issue there, or interpreting West Virginia law is going to get them to the U.S. Supreme Court. So, but that's a decision they have to make. But ultimately, it will come back to Judge Faber for a retrial. Based on the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals law and not what Judge Faber had originally ruled. That's the law now.
Mm-hmm.
That's the law of the land.
All right, yeah. Rusty, I know, as I said, I can hear it in your voice. You're a little tired. I appreciate you, but I appreciate you taking time on your schedule to kind of dumb it down for people like me. I appreciate you being here. Go get some rest, okay?
Okay. Bye.
Rusty Webb, 14 minutes away from 10. Biggly, Piggly, Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Tony Vitaylor text 304-935-5008. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you in part by the all-new Generations Ford of Hurricane. Your family and locally owned Ford dealership. Ask about X-Plan discount pricing on the purchase of every new Ford. Also offering 130% of Kelley Blue Book fair trade value for your vehicle. Visit them today off the Hurricane exits or online at generationsford.com. One destination for every generation. Generations Ford. See dealer for details. Knock out some texts. Text says, Dave, earlier you were talking about zoning laws, which I'm going to get back to here momentarily. Putnam County, says a texter, has zoning laws, but if an appeal goes against an applicant that's friends with county commissioners and the commissioners change the zoning laws to suit their friends. This has happened multiple times over the last 6 years. Opinion of a texter. And if anybody from the county commission in Putnam County wants to weigh in on that, I'll give you the opportunity. Text says, I don't think anyone is more wound up about trick or treat than the host of the show. You've talked about it for days. The people have moved on. You're the one with the issue, not them. And you said yesterday you don't have kids and you don't trick or treat, and you didn't trick or treat as a youngster. When I pick up things to talk about on this show, I pick up what other people are talking about, and they've not moved on. They're still upset about it, and they're going to be upset about it. Now, as for me not having kids, that's very well documented. I'm child-free by choice, indeed. And I didn't say I didn't trick or treat as a youngster. I said I didn't particularly enjoy it. Just wasn't my thing. I stopped in like second grade or so. It just wasn't my thing, But I just reflect what people are talking about on social media. Text says, can the Swingers Club participate in the parade? I don't know. I'll have to ask Matt and the people of the city of Charleston about that. Speaking of the controversy over the Swingers Club in Charleston, I'm going to get into that when we come back. We'll take the break a little bit early. It's 12 minutes away from 10. You can weigh in as well. Biggly, Piggly, Wiggly hotline 304-345-5858. Tony Vitaylor text 304-935-5008. Back after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses live to make life better for you and your family.
I'm Doug Leach, founder and CEO of Ascension Recovery Services. We've done a number of projects with Jarrett Construction. Finding people that really care about what they do and care about what we do is pretty unique. In Jarrett Construction, they care. They're really, really good people. Good people do the right thing, and they're very skilled. They have all the qualities that make up just a perfect construction partner, and they just built us a phenomenal building.
Right on time, right on budget. Call on Jarrett Construction.
I'm John Carruthers, the owner of Best Virginia Heating and Cooling. I'm born and raised right here in West Virginia. I've got 3 daughters, so I absolutely care who comes into my home. Every technician we send to your home has been drug tested and background checked. I guarantee the best client experience or your money back. We have the best team and the best processes built around a 5-star experience. Call Best Virginia today at 681-655-1214.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-924-7415. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-924-7415. 800-924-7415. 800-924-7415.
Welcome back to the show, 9:51. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by Pinnacle Consultants. Their lead paint inspection and risk assessment services designed to identify and to assess the presence of lead-based paints in buildings and other structures using a 3-phase approach. inspection, sampling, lab analysis, and an assessment report. Check out pinnaclecorp.net because what you don't know can hurt you. Bigley, Piggly, Wiggly. Hotline 304-345-5858. Tony Vitaylor, text 304-935-5008. Text says, Dave, there was a 911 call last night about a puppy tied to a rock down on the boulevard at the river. Can someone please give us an update on this innocent pup? I'm 52 years old, and I have to say the older I get, the more I love animals and despise humans. Right there with you. First I've heard of it, I'll check in, and I'll check, of course, tomorrow's Friday, which means Angie Gildenwater from the Kanawha Charleston Humane Association is here. I'll talk to Angie about that tomorrow. Speaking of tomorrow's show, Tom Bragg and Chris Lawrence here to talk high school football. Mentioned Angie will be here tomorrow. Dr. Casey Sachs of Bridge Valley will stop by as well. And it's Halloween tomorrow night. Our sister station, 98.7 Mountain, will be broadcasting live from Scareview Grave School in St. Albans. We'll, for the final time this year, talk about that, plus your calls and texts, too, coming up on tomorrow's show. Later today, Metro News Midday with 13 News, and tonight, live anchor Amanda Barron and me, powered by Salango Law. We're going to continue to talk to those that are helping with food insecurity in the state, with SNAP benefits going away on Saturday. Marshall playing a Thursday night road game tonight at Myrtle Beach against Coastal Carolina. We'll talk to the voice of the Thunder and Herd, Steve Cotton, about that and more coming up later today on Metro News Midday. Text says, I heard you mention Sarah Isger once. I also love and listen to her Advisory Opinions legal podcast, and once texted a lawyer friend about En Banc. Bless you. That's what Rusty was talking about. Bless you, Rusty Webb, for guiding us law enthusiasts who try to follow along as best we can, says a texter. Text says, the prudes are on a warpath in Charleston. It's consenting adults to whatever they're doing. What's the big deal? All right, so that's a perfect lead. Appreciate the text. All right, so this Swingers Club story. All right, so here's the story. It's a building on Greenbrier Street, out of city limits, as Matt Sutton talked about earlier in the show. It's on Greenbrier Street, but it's out of city limits. A public hearing was held about it Thursday night because some people are upset about its close proximity to Capitol High School and also a church. Now, the owners of the place, it is a company called Creative Connections, LLC, was sent a cease and desist order by the county in July. Now, again, the public hearing was held about it Tuesday night. The club has about 250 members. It's a sticky situation here. I could have used a better word than that. I did talk with someone from the county a little bit earlier because I had questions, not about membership necessarily. I have joined it, by the way, under the name TJ Meadows. I'm only saying that because Meadows is sitting right here beside me. No, I did not join. I'm not turning your microphone on. I'm not ready. I'm not ready for it. I'm kidding. I did not. All right. But it's got about 250 members. I did talk with someone with the county earlier this morning, and they tell me that because of the proximity of the club to the church and the school, that is a direct violation of county zoning laws. However, the owners of the club have said it's a private social club, and it operates or meets or whatever, as it were, after like 8 o'clock at night. And so it's not open when a church or a school is in session. They also don't sell food or drinks. They do no local advertising, although they're welcome to sponsor this show. Let me just say this. If it is a violation, as it was explained to me by somebody from Kanawha County earlier this morning, I was on the phone with, if it's a violation of zoning laws, then in my opinion, the county has every right to shut it down. And as Matt Sutton said, in giving his opinion, again, this is not in city limits, but he was saying, look, if it's a violation of zoning laws, then work to get the zoning laws changed if that's what you want to do. I mean, I get that. But if it's a violation of zoning laws, case closed. Where does it stand right now? I presume it's shut down, and the Kanawha Board of Appeals has 30 days to issue a written opinion on the matter. I just think maybe I should have kept Rusty Webb on the phone a little bit longer. I just think that it's going to be interesting to watch this case because, again, Kanawha County is saying in the cease and desist order that it's too close to Capitol High School, it's too close to a church there. And we've seen this in the past with things like strip clubs and adult bookstores and things of that nature. I 100% get that, and I respect that. However, It's just interesting to me if it's not open to the public like a strip club or an adult bookstore would be. It's not. No one can just walk in. It is a private club. And according to the story that was first reported by WCHS television, the windows are covered. You wouldn't know what was going on. I mean, matter of fact, it's been open for a while. Apparently people were driving by, didn't even know what it was. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how that works. Text says they're getting advertising now, the Streisand effect, says a texter. With the huge pushing of the transgender stuff down people's throats, now the swingers club near a school and a church, you cannot tell me it was not intentionally open there. I don't know whether it was intentionally open there or not. I don't know anybody involved in it. I don't have any idea. On the trick-or-treating, text says, how about a compromise tomorrow night? For parents, both kids are trick-or-treat and also high school football age. Why not have a trunk-or-treat in the parking lots of the tracks around the field? Says a texter. TJ Meadows. And by the way, I was just kidding, TJ.
My wife heard that.
Calm down. Calm down. And calm down, Mrs. TJ.
It's fine.
I'm joking. It was a joke.
You're joking.
I'm joking.
You want my opinion on it?
Sure.
I don't like it.
Okay.
Personally, it goes against my beliefs.
Then don't go.
But you know what? My beliefs don't pertain to the law. So here's what I say. What does the law say?
Mm-hmm.
And if it violates zoning laws, close it up.
I'm 100% with you.
And here's why.
Mm-hmm.
You talked about the school thing. You talked about the church thing. I don't know how many houses are near this or what neighborhood, if any, it's in. What do you think that's going to do to the property value of those homes necessarily? If someone wants,
it's been open for some time though, and apparently
people didn't know what it was. Now they do.
Yeah.
It can have that's the whole point of zoning laws. It can have an effect on other people's property. Go open this place somewhere like you would, if somebody's going to do a nudist colony or whatever they're going to do, they do it out in the middle of nowhere where it doesn't affect other.
Right.
Go do that.
And again, I don't have an issue with that. I'm just interested from a legal perspective on how it's going to play out. Because it's not a business per se. Strip clubs are businesses. Adult bookstores are businesses. This is not a business. They don't sell anything. It's a private club. I think it's an interesting argument. Text says, you know what's worse than the transgender stuff? Christian stuff being forced down our throats. As a texter.
I just said I don't think that.
I think that was aimed at. No, I don't think that was aimed at you. I think that was aimed at the other.
What's the law say? The rule of law will do it 99.9% of the time.
But I say, and again, I'm not an attorney, nor do I play one. I am just saying that I think that law applies to people that are businesses, and but it ain't my place to decide. So there you go.
Let's go have a court case.
Yeah, there you go. All right, what you got on the big show today? You're flying solo today, man.
Flying solo today. Mike Pushkin, 10:06 on Snap and other things. Jared Halpern from the White House, 10:33. Brian Dayton of the West Virginia Chamber. They have opinions on what I would call the Make Electricity More Expensive Act. So we'll get into that and much more. Hoppy's here today, too.
You going to address how much this company hates coal, according to certain legislators?
I am the chief environmentalist.
Are you kidding me? We hate coal. Are you serious right now?
Sell that to somebody who will buy it.
All right, got to go. See you later today for Metro News Midday. For our producer, Ryan Nicholson, thank you so much. See you here tomorrow. Until then, have fun and love somebody.
WCHS AM 96.5 FM Charleston, 104.5 Cross Lanes, a WVRC media station. We're proud to live here too.